Welcome back to my film and TV channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. I have a film review today. We're going to look at a 12 certificate, 96 minutes. That's a nice time. I like a nice steady film. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't have minded this one being a little bit longer, which is unusual for me, isn't it, if you watch any of my vlogs. But we're going to have a look at a comedy drama entitled The Duke. Yes, The Duke. Please, if you are new to the channel, you enjoy what I try and do. I try and inform and entertain as well if I can, in my own little way. If you obviously, I try and be bright and breezy and come up with lots of information for you and my own little views, of course, on these film reviews. So if you can press that subscribe button if you've not already done so, or press that notification button so you know when these vlogs are coming out. And of course, any comments are great, but these thumbs ups, you can give those thumbs ups, guys. I don't know what the image is up there. It might be SpongeBob SquarePants, or it might be Mr. Bean. Who knows what I've got up there? But please give that the thumbs up a push. I'll try and get between 10 and 15 for these film and TV things. So if you could do that for me, you make an old man very, very happy. Well, did this film make an old man very, very happy? Yeah, I'm not going to give too much away. Well, I am. Yes, it did make me happy. I did enjoy this. Yes, it's, of course, The Duke is a comedy drama directed by Roger Mitchell. Yeah, his final film, sadly, before his death on the 22nd of September 2021. Very sad. With a screenplay by Richard Bean and Clive Coleman. Yeah, no relation to Mr. Bean, I don't think. The film stars, well, wonderful, wonderful cast. Jim Broadbent, Helen Mirren. Well, what can we say? I don't need to go any further, do I? But I will. Fionn Whitehead, Anna Maxwell Martin, and Matthew Goody, or Good. I don't know. G-O-O-D-E. Goody. Matthew Goody. I always think of the goodies, yuddy goody, yum, yum. Remember them? You'd have to be old like me to remember those. And what's it about, this one? Well, it's 1961. I was 2 years old, so I don't remember it actually happening at the time. Kempton, as in the racetrack, but he did say it's nothing to do with the racetrack. Kempton Bunton, a 60-year-old taxi driver, stole Goya's portrait of the Duke of Wellington from the National Gallery in London, and it was the first and remains the only theft in the gallery's history. Kempton sent ransom notes saying that he would return the painting on condition that the government invested more in care for the elderly. Good on him. He had a long campaign for pensioners to receive free television. What happened next became the stuff of legend, and it's something I didn't even know about. So it wasn't, obviously, I'm 62 now and I hadn't heard of this, or I might have heard of it and forgot about it, but it certainly made me want to go and find out a little bit more after I watched this, but more on that later. Only 50 years later did the full story emerge. Yes, I probably wouldn't have known. So that's probably why. Kempton had spun a web of lies. The only truth was that he was a good man, determined to change the world and save his marriage. How and why he used the Duke to achieve this is a wonderfully uplifting tale. It certainly is. This is released in the UK. I'm not too sure. Check your territories. I'm sure it's worldwide now on the 25th of February 2022. So obviously it's out. This is before it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, etc. I'm recording this. Any good? Yeah, well, this is it. I'm recording this on the 9th of March 2022 at 11 a.m. So that's all scores and all comments are based at that time. Rotten Tomatoes, yep, 94% approval rating. That's basically saying, yes, it was positive, not a score. It's just a 94%. Yes, I liked it. 6% said they weren't that bothered or they didn't like it. 47 reviews, so a number of reviews. An average rating, very impressive on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.8 out of 10. And there was 44 fresh and just 3 rotten, so there was rotten. The consensus reads, a sweet swan song even for director Roger Mitchell. The Duke offers a well-acted, engaging dramatisation of an entertainingly improbable true story. Entertainingly improbable, I can get those words out as well. Metascore, interesting. Metascore, 17 guys on Metascore left a score. 77% positivity, and it scored anywhere between 50 out of 100, but more on that 50 score in a moment. The playlist Jessica Yang gave it 83 out of 100. Not the highest by any means, but she said you could dine on nothing but lard for 20 years, no thanks, and still not develop the hardness of heart necessary to avoid being won over by Roger Mitchell's The Duke, a ridiculously charming British comedy that dunks a gamely accented prestige cast into an appealingly milky true story, like so many digestives, into a warm, well-earned early evening cuppa. There you go. That's what I just thought. There are higher scores, but I thought, Jessica, well done, love. I mean, I'm quite impressed with that. The wording there, the verbiage, if you like, the wordage of what she's put there, very good. But yeah, I mean, the lowest scores were actually 70, but there was just one character, a Chris Barsanti, who must be a right miserable old bugger. Slamp magazine only scored at 50, but he was the exception to the rule. But I just thought I'd mention him. So I would name and shame. And his comments, though, the film misses an opportunity to delve particularly deeply into the keenly relevant issues of inequality and social disconnection that so animate its protagonist. I don't think that is the aim of the film, Chris. I think you're missing the whole point, mate. It's just a light-hearted look. It's not a serious sort of biopic, sort of true life documentary, documentary sort of thing. It's just a bit of fun with it, and so we don't go into any vast detail. You can read between the lines, you can make your own assumptions, of course you can. But I think Mr. Chris Barsanti has missed the idea of a British comedy thriller, crime thriller, British comedy drama thriller, if you like. I don't think he's got the gist of what it's all about, in fairness. Internet Movie Database, so that's Joe Public, that's you and me, mainly the British. I assume Americans have watched this, and other New Zealanders, Australians, and other nationalities are available, of course, to watch this. Internet Movie Database, 6.8 out of 10. So that is absolutely fine. Not quite as high as Rotten Tomatoes, but that is still a healthy score from the public. And if you take away the 10 out of 10s, you take away the 1 out of 10s, you've got 2,025 people scored this between 6 and 9 out of 10. And just 247 miserable buggers scored it between 2 and 5 out of 10. So overall, 82% positivity if you put that into a percentage. So that's pretty good, isn't it? What about me? Let's talk about Berner's view of this. I nicked a word off one of the critics before, a quintessentially, because I liked it, and I probably wouldn't have been able to think of it to spell it. So I will say it. A quintessentially British comedy we are so good at, of course, with great performances from the wonderful Jim Broadbent and the lovely, wonderful Dame Helen Mirren. The chemistry is excellent between the two. You can just sort of see these two as typical married couple from the 50s, early 60s. They just had that sort of chemistry between them. A lot of one-line jokes and reactions to each other, as you would expect. I mean, obviously, I was obviously 20 years, a generation later, perhaps, but obviously there's still little traits there that I could, from a northern, if you like, a northern sort of viewpoint, that I could relate to, definitely, even with my history and my past. If you know nothing about the story, I did mention this early on. If you know nothing about the story before watching, try not to find out anything. Don't. You can watch the trailer. Don't get me wrong. You can watch anything to do with the film, but don't start looking into the actual heist itself, if you like. Don't do that. I didn't. I deliberately didn't, because I just wanted to enjoy the film. I mean, I knew what was going to happen, but I was pleasantly surprised, because there was one or two unexpected twists and turns. So don't read about the thing itself. You can watch the trailers. You can obviously, you can watch the synopsis if you like, or read the synopsis, but don't start looking into the actual true thing. As I said, how true it is to real life, I don't know yet, because I've not gone and read up on it. But yeah, you would hope, and from what I've been reading, that it is a pretty good transition, a pretty good adaptation of what really happened. Obviously, there's got to be some dramatic license, of course. I mean, this Jim Broadbent is a funny guy, and this character's a funny guy, if you like. Was he as funny in real life? Possibly, but it did sort of go a little bit over the top. So we do have courtroom scenes which are very, very funny. I did look forward to this. As soon as I heard about it, I did delay. I nearly got to watch it, and I was delayed a week or two watching it. and I wasn't disappointed. It was everything I expected and a lot more. Some great sets as well. It was actually shot. It wasn't shot in Newcastle. It wasn't shot in Geordieland. It was actually shot in Bradford. But yeah, if you know the north of England, Bradford streets, you probably could have shot it somewhere in Manchester as well. Northern towns have that look and that feel anyway. The terraced houses, etc. So yeah, I mean that wouldn't have done it any harm from the realism point of view, because obviously it was some great sets. And it was, as a history buff myself, I like to watch those and the old cars and the streets, etc. Some fantastic sets, as well as acting and a story in this. A great supporting cast. There was I don't think there's any real weaknesses. You do get the odd weakness in a British film, I do find. That's just how it is. But I certainly couldn't find any real weaknesses in this that was going to ruin any of the watching for me. And as I said, the length of the film was perfect, 96 minutes. All right, take out the credits, you're probably talking an hour and a half, which is a standard film length. I could have taken a few minutes more. I could have taken over 10 or 15 minutes. So I was very disappointed when it ended. I wouldn't have minded seeing a little bit more, but it was adequate. It is right for what it is. So for me, it definitely is added to if you like a good British comedy drama, this is up there. It's been added now to one of the best ones that I've seen in my life. Yeah, we'll say my life. I'm not going to say the last 12 months. In my life, it's just up there. Characterization and the chemistry and everything about it, the story and the fact that it was based on actual events makes it so much better as well. So please, if you do like in all fairness, if you don't like British comedy dramas, let's say a more mature person getting through life, set in the more period now, aren't we? We're talking 60 years ago, aren't we? So I suppose it is classed perhaps now. I know it sounds daft, doesn't it, as a period drama, but if you don't like that sort of thing, then forget it. But if you love the sort of British style things, if you're outside of the UK, but you love that sort of British quirkiness, it's a great watch. I think you'll really enjoy it. My score for this, I'm going to go higher than Internet Movie Database. I'm not going to go quite as high as Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to give this a very, very good 7.5 out of 10. And if you know my scores, that's up there in probably the top 10 that I've given out over the last few months. So very, very good film. Enjoyed the watch. Please have a watch. Let me know what you think. And I'm going to try and find out a little bit about the true story now. I want to get a chance and find out how realistic it was. And as I said, based on what I've seen, it was quite close to of what really happened. So it'd be very interesting to go back and read that. But don't do it. Don't do it before you watch the film, please. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. What are we going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other to be here again on the Film and TV channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.